great pleasure to welcome signature partner of the council, the New York Schools Insurance Reciprocal, NYSER. We are deeply grateful for NYSER's ongoing support for our work and for New York students. This year, we would like to especially thank them for their generous sponsorship of the 2025 Distinguished Service Award. Their commitment to our organization and to the future of public education in New York State is truly outstanding. Joining me on stage to present this prestigious award, the highest award for a retired life member, is Kevin McGowan, Superintendent, Brighton Central School District, who is also the chair of our Distinguished Life Member Committee, Chuck Chafee, Assistant Director of NYSER, and Chuck Diedrich, Executive Director of NISCUS.
Good morning, everybody. Great to see you. I'm so excited to be here, and I want to start by thanking Donna for planning an amazing conference. It's really fantastic. And before I go any further, I'd also like to thank Jill Grishman, Hank's wife, for being here and for being along the ride with him, which supported so many of us for so many years. So thank you very much. You're welcome. So, friends and colleagues, this is a presentation replete with some irony. Until his retirement, Hank Grishman was the chair of the Distinguished Service Committee, which means as the new chair, I am filling the biggest of shoes. And let's not forget, they were pretty nice, well-polished, fancy shoes. Hank is a legend. He's one of one, incomparable. And the irony is that my first public duty as chair of this committee is to present the highest honor that the council can bestow on a retired life member. I also have to say that I'm more than a little bit humbled and incredibly honored to be presenting this award to a person who I personally have immense respect for and care for deeply as a colleague and a friend. When we talk about standing on the shoulders of giants, this, my friends, is the best example of it. Hank was one of those people that when many of us first started coming to the conference, you looked at from afar and thought, gosh, if I could just do half of what that person has done, if I could emulate just a little bit of that, I might be marginally successful in the work. That's who Hank was, and Hank continues to be for so many of us. Today's award is given in recognition of the one individual that has shown exemplary commitment to public education. And really, in this given year, there are so many legends that were up on that screen we were remarking before. Incredible people, and I don't want to diminish any one of them because, boy, they have given so much to kids in the council. But I think every single one of them would agree that, again, Hank is quite literally incomparable. So let's see. July of 1978, Space Invaders had launched a national craze for computer games. The movie Grease, Hank, you may remember this, I don't, was released and was a box office hit. I was 4 years old, so I'm sorry if I don't remember. Many of his fellow retirees in this year's class were themselves preparing for second grade. An internet-enabled device ban was quite literally already in effect. We had neither at the time. And Hank Grishman became a member of the New York State Council of School Superintendents 47 years ago. Hank has served on the executive committee, House of Delegates, Commissioners Advisory Council. He helped establish and was the first president of our foundation, LEAF, that has done so much for so many relative to professional development and support in the council. He was elected president of NISCUS in 2007 and served through 2008, the year we celebrated our 125th anniversary. As president, he was instrumental in establishing important policy directions through the Constitution and Bylaw and Dues Review Committee. He also led a fundraising effort for a council staff member, Pauline, who was diagnosed with cancer that year. In 2012, he was named the New York State Superintendent of the Year, representing New York on the national stage, and served as a governing board member for AASA. He has continued to serve NISCUS after his presidential roles through his participation on the Past Presidents Committee, chair, as I mentioned, of the Distinguished Service Committee. And in 2022, he established and personally funds the Henry L. Grishman Scholarship, where a student in need from that year's Superintendent of the Year's district receives a scholarship. At a dinner last night, the council honored all of the retirees, as Donna mentioned, and it was a wonderful evening. Our colleague, past president Phyllis Harrington from Oceanside, spoke beautifully in recognizing Hank's retirement. She cited any number of awards, accomplishments, honors, and achievements, some of which I've repeated today, but what she said that I found most striking, and we should reflect on, I believe, is that Hank exemplified always in his work deep, deep care and commitment to each child, a passion for his work, a passion for this role, and the promise it holds to improve outcomes for every child. She spoke wonderfully about Hank's positivity, his kindness, and always, always, always having time for every one of us. He was always there for every one of us collectively and individually. I asked some other colleagues to share their thoughts, and I heard over and over again, universally respected, humble, genuine, a standard bearer. The snapshot came out, as it was mentioned earlier. Chuck mentioned you could get a copy, and it's being distributed, of course. It notes that respondents to the snapshot have an average of 6 years of experience in their district and 8 years overall as a superintendent. Hank has 47 years of service for children, for his district, for his colleagues. He is one of one statistically and humanly. So it is with great pleasure to announce that my friend, our friend, retired life member, Hank Grishman, a courageous leader, a joyful superintendent, and someone whom we have all had the privilege of calling our colleague and friend, come forward to receive the 2025 Distinguished Service Award.
Kevin, you may not know that I was a prodigy and became superintendent at 11 years old. Thank you, Kevin, for that kind and complimentary introduction. Touched me greatly. Thank you. As the former chair of the Distinguished Service Committee, some of you may remember that I had the unusual honor of presenting the Appreciation Award to Hank Grishman. Let me be clear, my self-introduction back then couldn't hold a candle to yours today, Kevin. You did a much better job than I ever could have. Thank you, Kevin. Before I go any further, I have to begin where I always begin, with my partner in life. I don't think I've choked up here before. With my partner in life for the past 55 years, my wife, Jill. Jill has walked the entire journey with me over 50 years of my career in education and every one of my 47 years as a superintendent. She has been my anchor when things got rough, my advisor when tough decisions had to be made. There's always a school teacher on my shoulder. My advisor, I leaned on her on the hardest of days, and through it all, she was my biggest supporter and cheerleader. The truth is, I never could have done this without her. So Jill, thank you. And Jill did request that in my comments I not use the term sweet to describe her. I also need to acknowledge the New York State Council of School Superintendents. This organization has been by my side from the very beginning. I remember being that green young superintendent of 12 who wasn't quite sure of what I was stepping into, and the council was there guiding me, supporting me, and helping me grow into the role. Over the years, the directors and the amazing staff, the absolutely incredible staff, have done so much more than just run a professional organization. They have built a community of colleagues, a community of friends, a community of family, and for that, I will always be grateful. When I stop and think about it, 47 years as a superintendent, 30 of those in Jericho, it almost doesn't seem real. It has been a lifetime of work, but more than that, it has been a lifetime of purpose. And what a privilege it has been. We often describe the superintendent as an educational leader of a district. That's true, but it barely captures the whole picture of who we are In many ways, we are the mayor of our community, the cultural leader, and most importantly, the voice and the advocate for every child in our schools. That is the part of the work that has always meant the most to me. Teresa, thank you for the walk-up music, We Are the Champions. It is the perfect choice because every superintendent sitting in this room is a champion for students, a champion for all students, a champion for students who excel, but also the champion for students who struggle, a champion for the underprivileged, the underserved, the overlooked, a champion for students with special needs, a champion for our LGBTQ+ kids, for our trans kids. In short, we are the champion, the spokesperson, the advocate for all kids, and that is what makes our work so incredible and so special. So as I accept this award, I don't see it as something for me. I see it as a reflection of the incredible work that superintendents everywhere do every single day, often under the most challenging circumstances. No, it's not easy work, far from it, but it's deeply and passionately meaningful, and it has been an honor of my life to be part of this profession and to be a superintendent of schools. Thank you to all for your friendship, your support, and the shared commitment to the children we serve. I am most humbled, I am grateful, and I am proud to stand among all of you. Thank you so much.